All right, so 1 second. Okay, so we formed that 4-hour bullish breaker. We've got a 4-hour bullish imbalance down here. And we don't really have any external liquidity on the 4-hour until all the way at this high, or for buy side. So we've got that buy side all the way above the breaker. And then external sell side liquidity, we don't have all the way down here until basically yesterday's low and this low down here. Right, so it's all the way down here, which technically, yeah, okay. So 4-hour, let's go down to a 1-hour time frame. All right, we look at the 1-hour when we do have a little bit of a swing high up here, and then we have a volume gap, and then we have a bearish breaker on the 1-hour up here. So that's another level I could see us targeting if the longs want to step in today. I could see us definitely targeting that bearish breaker on the 1-hour all the way inside of that daily breaker, grabbing external buy side liquidity. Especially when we trade down into this hourly order block. If we get a reaction off of it, if we get a reaction off this hourly order block, I would expect us to keep trying to pump. We did end up falling a little bit last night. We didn't get that any follow through last night from that crazy pump we saw post market after Meta released their earnings. But we didn't fall super far. You know, we just came down and took out Asia low. So I'm still expecting a bullish day right now until I'm really proven that the shorts want to step in. You know, I know we've opened this morning pretty bearish, but I need to be proven that the shorts are going to come in. So right now I'm still expecting the longs until we can come down and displace, like on an hourly time frame, displace these previous lows, and so forth. So let's go to a 15-minute real quick. And we can see Asia high still hasn't been mitigated. We did take out Asia low. And then let's look at London high, London low. We have London high all the way up here at 2 a.m. All right, so we haven't touched that. Ever since we formed that London high, we have been dropping. And then we formed our London low all the way down here at 4:30. So we haven't swept London low yet. Okay, so right now we do look pretty bearish, right? We look like we want to keep falling. We're creating lower lows. We're creating lower highs. Right, so right now we do look like we want to keep falling. And now we got to start looking at, okay, then if we're going to fall on our smaller time frames, we're starting to look like we want to drop. Well, then we want to see where our sell side liquidity levels are. Well, we got a swing low there on the 15. We've got a swing low down here on the 15. Right into that bullish breaker. Okay, so right now, today is all about really just being patient and waiting. So my bias overall is still bullish for now. Just because of everything we saw yesterday, because of our earnings from yesterday, because of FOMC from yesterday, because all we saw yesterday was a strong pump and we rallied pretty hard. And we didn't technically actually trade into this breaker yet. You know, we hit that order block on the daily, but we did not trade into the breaker. But as long as we're keeping bearish structure, you know, I'm not going to be taking a long position. So if we're keeping bearish structure and we start to break structure again, or not break structure, but if we start to take out previous lows, then yeah, I'll be looking short down to our sell side liquidity. Right, but after seeing what happened yesterday, I do want to see if these longs are going to continue. We also have to think about the news. Right, so we did already have a bunch of news come out, and it all pretty much came out negative, so it makes sense why we are dropping. And then we do have news coming out at 9:45 a.m. Eastern, and then news coming out at 10 a.m. Eastern. So we have an orange folder at 9:45, a red folder, orange folder, yellow folder at 10. So we still have a bunch of news coming out. Yeah. In about 8 minutes, we have all, or at least we have that orange folder coming out in about 8 minutes. So we've got a bunch of news today. So we're gonna navigate this one again today. I'm still planning on sizing down a little bit. I don't plan on really trading heavy. You know, unless I really see I can add into my winning position already. If I can add into a winner that's already doing pretty good, that's different. But I plan on sizing down pretty small today. Same as I've been doing this whole week. And we've still caught very good profit this week. So again, we're just going to protect those profits and we're going to play it smart. We did create a bearish breaker up here on the 5-minute and even on the 15-minute. But what I want to point out is this 5-minute bearish breaker with a high, low, higher, high displacement of the lows. So let's look at this lowest down close candle here. So we have a 5-minute bearish unicorn model. The fair value gap overlapping. Strong displacement fair value gap there. All right. No, I'm going to go half. AZ Sunshine, I'm going to go half position. And that's what I mean just by a small lot. Just half position. And then if, let's say, but I might start off with maybe just one con and then adding one con. And then maybe adding another, once we're into profit. All right, so look what we've done. We've created equal lows down here. We've created some equal lows. We're trading back into a 5-minute unicorn. I want to see us come back and try to target those equal lows. I really want to see us come back and target those equal lows, grab that London low here, and then after that, possibly get a pump. So I want to see us trade into this 5-minute unicorn and start to see us, kind of get that reversal, especially if we create this 10-minute opening range and we trade above into that fair value gap and above that opening range. I would like to see us use this as resistance, come down and grab those equal lows, and then probably, just depends on what that news is. So far, news has come out negative, all red, so we're seeing the reaction in the market from that news. We've been pretty bearish ever since it came out at 8:30 Eastern. So let's see if we start getting a reaction. I might look to actually get into a trade a little bit early today if we start bouncing off this 5-minute unicorn model here. So I want to see if we're going to bounce. Again, I don't want to rush into anything, but if I do see the setup and I see a nice rejection off this level, I will look for a short, especially because we generated equal lows down below. But I do want to see us tap into that breaker first. We've traded into that fair value gap. We haven't traded into the breaker. We created this 10-minute opening range. I'd like to see us trade above that opening range before we come back down. Let's see if we can do that. I just want to see us trade into this breaker. Start to get a nice reaction back down. Start to reject that level. Look for a short. Especially because we generated these equal lows down here. But again, if we're going to push right through it with no rejection, you're not going to see me get an entry. Got to see a rejection off this level. And that's why I like to wait for my entries, because if we just push right through, there's no point for me to get an entry. All right, so we hit that 50% level. And we're still pushing here. We're still pushing. Let's see if we want to get some SMT up at the highs. Right, if ES comes up and takes out that high up here, we'd have some strong SMT divergence. So I'd need to see us reject off VWAP here. If we don't reject off VWAP, then I think these longs will keep on pumping. Well, it looks like they want to keep on pumping right now. We'll see. We still have a lot of time on this 5-minute candle. So let's see if we actually want to reject this level. Again, we have news coming out, so it's only orange folder, so I'm not too worried. But I would rather get into my position before that news comes out, not while it's coming out, or just wait until after. So far, not enough rejection here off this level. I mean, we haven't rejected at all. We've only pushed through it. We have only pushed through it so far. Remember, my overall bias on the day is still bullish. I still have an overall bullish bias right now. This is just me seeing a strong unicorn model on a 5 and 15-minute time frame, and then seeing us generate equal lows at our previous session low. So that's a very strong level right there. Very key level of liquidity for us. That's why I would be looking for shorts. But if we're going to keep pushing through this level, you're not going to see me get any kind of entry in the shorts. Unless we rejected the super hard, and right now we are pushing. Looks like we're gunning for London High. Okay, now we have SMT. Doesn't look like we're really stopping right now, though. We are not stopping, so I won't be looking short if we're just pumping through our resistance level. But when we leave behind those equal lows, I typically like to see us trade right back for those equal lows, especially when we have a strong bearish breaker or bearish unicorn. Again, if we're just going to keep pumping, well, then I'm going to start looking long. But now I'll probably wait for this news to come out now that we're just about a minute away from this news release. So yeah, we're not respecting that breaker at all. Looks like we really want to pump. So our daily bias right now is showing. Our daily bias is showing these longs are starting to step in pretty aggressively. And we might try to create a bullish breaker. And we might reverse ourselves. We might get that market structure shift back to the upside if we close above this high on the 5-minute. So right now we still have SMT divergence. So this news comes out in about 30 seconds. It's not red folder, it's orange folder news, so it shouldn't be super high impact. But we'll probably still see a decent impact on the market. So yeah, I mean, we've only pumped. We have not respected that breaker. We've actually displaced it now. We displaced that 5-minute fair value gap. And now our 15-minute opening range has been created. Look at that strong candle on the 15. Strong candle on that 15-minute time frame. So again, we'll wait. We'll give it a few minutes. Wait for this news to come out. Yeah, I mean, we didn't have any down close candles on this move whatsoever. And we never actually tapped back into any fair value gaps or anything. So even if I did want to long this, there still really wouldn't have been an entry opportunity that I would have taken. Right? Just because we've been so bullish and we have not tapped back into any levels. I would say the only level that we did actually tap into maybe would have been this 1-minute order block down here. But at this point, I wouldn't have even been thinking about longing, just because we still had that resistance and we created those equal lows. Okay, let's look at that news. So it looks like the news beat the forecast. News beat the forecast there, so that's positive news there. So again, our daily bias is still here. We're still looking long overall, especially now that we've mitigated those breakers. All right, so now we're looking for fair value gaps, order blocks. What are we going to use as support to keep pushing us higher up to that London high? All right, because that main target would be Asia and London high up top, taking us back into that daily breaker. You know, we still have SMT right now. Look how ES has swept that high, NQ has not swept that high, so we need to see NQ really sweep that high to get rid of that SMT. Show us that bullish strength, that NQ is strong. There we go. So now we're starting to push. No more SMT here. I want to see us create this 1-minute OB and use it as support. Look for longs off this OB. All the way up to London high up here, and then Asia high up here. So it's about 300 ticks from this order block. Alright, so let's see us close above, and let's see us come down and test that. I want to see us come down or close above, create this order block, and then retest the order block. Or just test the order block. We're now creating a 5-minute breaker if this 5-minute can close above. So we still haven't closed above on this 1-minute time frame. So it's still not a valid breaker or a valid 1 minute bullish order block yet, just because we have not closed above with this body of this candle. But we're seeing a pretty nice pump here. Looks like ES has already swept that London high. It's swept our Asia high. So technically, yeah, we still do see some divergence, because if we look over here, if we look at a 15-minute time frame over here on NQ, this London high is that same high right there, and we still have not taken it out on ES or on NQ. We have still not taken out that Asia high on NQ, and we've taken out both on ES. But we still look pretty bullish right now. It looks like NQ still wants to head for those highs. So now we've created that order block. Now I want to see us trade back into it, use it as support, look for some longs here. But again, I need to see us trade back into it. I'm not going to chase the longs here. I need to see us come back and test support. You know, get a nice reaction. Look for those longs. You're not going to see me chasing price. I need to see us come back to our level. Let's see if this 5 minute wants to close above and create this breaker. Okay, we still didn't tap off that order block yet, but we're seeing us already reacting off this level. But I need to see us trade into this. Okay, here we go. So now we're trading into a 5 minute breaker here that we created, and this 1 minute OB. So once we start seeing a rejection off this level, that's when I'll be looking long. And if we don't reject this level, then you're going to see me stay out. All right, so now we have this technically 5 minute bullish unicorn. We closed above. All right, so this would be our breaker block right here. And then this fair value gap that we just tapped into would be that unicorn. So we need to see us react off this level here. It's a pretty strong displacement candle on the 1 minute. Don't really want to see that. Let's see what the VIX is doing here. The VIX is starting to pump a little bit. Okay, we're starting to react now. I'm going to test out these longs, guys. I'm going to test out the longs off that breaker unicorn 1 minute, or the 5 minute breaker, 5 minute unicorn model. Got a high entry. And we are moving a lot, so I might have to keep a pretty tight stop here because we're not seeing that follow through yet. Might have to just cut this one, guys. I'm just going to cut that. We are moving a lot, actually. If we look at this 1 minute candle, it's a 160 tick move to the downside there. So yeah, I'm just going to cut that one early. I'm not going to take a big loss on that whatsoever, because we just didn't see any follow through off that breaker yet. We started to see the follow through. We bounced off VWAP. We bounced off this fair value gap off this breaker block, and we just don't want to see that follow through yet. So again, I wanted to test it out, and now I'll just wait for the next setup. Right, so still half a lot. Okay, there we go. I want to start seeing us reacting pretty good here. All right, I'm going to test them out again here. And if we don't see us start following through right away, I'm just going to cut it right away. I might have to cut this one right away if we don't see it, because that entry is a little bit higher than I wanted there. Again, another higher entry than I wanted. Yeah, this is hard, guys. We're moving so aggressively, and we're not really, and I'm getting kind of not the best entries here. So I'm going to place my stop. Let's see if we can get that follow through now. I'm going to place my stop at 19,616.50. There we go. There we go, guys. There we go. Okay, let's see if we can get that follow through now. All right, so up to this high is already like 130 something ticks, 135 ticks. That could be a good first TP if we can push through. You can always take a 1-to-1. I've got my stop at 55 ticks right now. You know, we're not seeing any follow through yet. But that is a nice bounce. That's a nice rejection. That's exactly what I want to see here. But I just don't want to see us wick like that. I want to see us just start following through. Okay, I mean, that was a really nice rejection off the 5-minute. But now we need to get momentum to keep going to the upside. I'm going to add into a full here, guys. I'm adding into a full. Just add into a full position. I'm going to move my stop loss up a little bit. So I just moved my stop up to 19,620.50. And now I just want to see us explode from this level. And if we can't, well, then I'll just have to take that loss and move on. I mean, seeing that rejection, everything, 5-minute unicorn, perfect entry model there. Really gave me that confidence and conviction, and we're just not seeing any kind of follow through like I wanted to see. Gotta bounce from here. I mean, look at that rejection, guys. That's exactly what I wanted to see happen here. But we're just too volatile. We're just a little bit too volatile. We can't really have a great stop loss. Technically, I'd want my stop loss to be a lot lower. I'd want my stop loss to be all the way down here, really, below this 5-minute wick. But that's like over 100 ticks, right? So you're not going to see me do that. So 112 ticks up to this high. And then up to London high. You know, we got about 226 ticks. So if we break this high, I mean, I'd be willing to keep holding until we take out London high for my first TP. You know, that's like a 220 tick first TP. So it just depends what we do once we sweep, if we can sweep this high. If we can be very aggressive, I just don't like that we're chopping. But if we can be very aggressive and break through this high, I'll hold all the way up to 19,692.75. But if we do sweep this high, I'll just move my stop loss to break even. London high is at 19,692.75. We just got to break out of this chop here, guys. We got to really just start to expand. We got to start to expand. I need to see us break this high. I'll move my stop loss to break even, and I'll just let it ride. But if you guys want to take a first TP, you could already take a first TP if you want to. We've already hit over 80. We've hit over 90 ticks now. We have hit over 90 ticks. There we go. There we go. All right, I'm just going to move my stop to break even here. Going to move my stop to break even. And I'm going to let this one ride, guys. I really like this setup. I really like this rejection. I think we're going to go all the way up to that London high. And I want to catch big reward on this trade just because I see the possibility. And now it's a risk-free trade, so I'm not worried whatsoever. Even if we want to come down and stop me out at break even, I don't care. It's risk-free. I really love this setup. That rejection off that 5-minute unicorn model to me is an A+ setup. And if we see this follow through, guys, that's a 226 first TP. 226 tick first TP. With the full position. Let's see if we can go take it out. I mean, we're almost already at first TP, guys. We're almost there. You know, if we start to stall up here, you know, we're failing to break through, then yeah, I would probably just take a first TP and just let it ride. You know, I wouldn't keep holding. But I really want to see this one go. Really want to see this one go. I really like this setup. We just got to push through this 15-minute order block up top. If we can close above and displace this order block and this high on the 5-minute, I don't see any reason why we shouldn't keep going. But this one's coming back down pretty aggressively here on us. Jeez. This one's coming really far back down. I don't like that. I need to see us bounce off this breaker again. I don't want this one to come stop us out. Like I said, you could have easily taken a first TP up here, right? You didn't have to keep holding like me. I mean, we hit 181 ticks there, so you did not have to keep holding. That's why I always give you that opportunity and tell you where where good TP levels are. Dang, so that one came all the way back down. This just shows you how volatile we are right now, guys. This just shows you how volatile we are. I mean, we pumped 183 ticks and came all the way back down to my break even. And this one, I still believe in this long. I still believe in this long right now. Yeah, we do have news coming out in 1 minute, actually. So if you want to close out of your positions, you might want to close out of your positions here. You might want to close out. Either way, I mean, I still love that trade, guys. You know, I could have taken TP, but I wanted to hold that one all the way through because I do see this one going to London High and up to Asia High. Yeah, it stopped me out by the tick there, AZ Sunshine. If you guys want to hold this position still, you know, you can move your stop into profit to cover any slippage. But again, news could give you some slippage. It could give you some slippage and not fill you where you want to get filled. So just be aware of that. Yeah, it stopped me out by the tick there. Right here, you can see it barely got me. 1 tick. But either way, I really like that trade setup, guys. But now we see red folder news coming out. This is going to be extremely volatile, so I would not be getting in any positions now. Well, there we go. Yeah, I mean, I think if we didn't have news coming out, we might have seen that one actually go up and sweep London High right away. But sometimes when you see news come out, we do get some stalling and you know, we don't want to really expand as much. Of course, guys. Yeah, how many people took profit on that first trade? I'm hoping most of you did. You know, I was trying to hold, but I'm sure a lot of you did take profit. I mean, that was 180 ticks. So we just closed on the hour. Now we have this red folder news coming out. Maybe we trade down to that 15-minute imbalance. All right, so that news. Okay, so it looks like our red folder matched expectations. So not too much there. Yeah, so not too much. We still overall have SMT at the highs with the London High not being swept yet. But I still want to see us bounce off this breaker. We're just very volatile, so you pretty much have to have that entry dialed in, right? And that's why that first entry I tried, you know, I had to cut it early, but then we got that next entry that was still pretty solid. I still really like that second entry we had. And again, like a lot of you probably took some good profit there and, you know, maybe got stopped at break even, maybe got stopped in profit. Still a great setup, just didn't see it go all the way to London High yet. I still expect it to reach London High though. I still want to see us go to London High. I mean, we got very close there. We got very close. Right, and the reason I wanted to leave that because I had so much conviction that we would reach London High on this trade, right? For 220 something ticks with the full position, that's pretty good reward, guys. Especially already being up on the week, I'm okay with allowing that one to be a break-even trade to try to catch a big reward on that trade, and just to watch my trade play out. Stick to the plan, catch full reward. That's why I wanted to do that. Alright, but it just depends on what your style is. So, looks like we're going to go grab that London High now. Look at that reaction off that unicorn again. I think we're going to go grab it up here. Unless we just want to keep ranging in this range here. Yeah, I would think about entering again. I just don't love the volatility with this news coming out. I don't love the volatility, but if we come down back into that unicorn again and we see a good level, then yes, I would think about getting a re-entry. The VIX is still very bearish here. I still expect us to go take out London and Asia high. I just want to see a better level with less volatility. Because look at all this volatility right now, guys. And we're just sitting in this range right here. We're not really seeing any follow through. So I mean, at the least on that last trade, you should have at least made your loss back from the first trade. And you should at least probably have some profit on top. If you took profit. Alright, so this hourly candle, let's see what's going on the hourly time frame. We still look pretty bullish on the hourly. We're still holding our bullish trend. I would still expect us to go long. Especially after creating this bullish breaker. Just need to see a nice reaction off this breaker to take us up. Maybe if we're going to trade into this 15-minute imbalance down here. The only thing I don't like is this London low equal lows down here. I just don't like that, you know, we have the possibility of going back down for those. But as long as we're holding this bullish unicorn model, you know, I'll still be looking for longs. Pretty strong close on the 5-minute candle there. We're still in this range right now, guys. We're still in this range. Just choppy here. Just choppy, so I don't really want to get an entry while we're still ranging. See if this volatility wants to settle down a little bit within the next few minutes. Yeah, I do think if that news wasn't coming out, I think we would have ran through that London high already. I think on that trade we were in, we would have already taken it out. All right, Jay. Enjoy the birthday festivities. Have a good weekend, man. We'll catch you on Monday. Okay, so now we're breaking structure to the downside. Looks like we want to go down for those equal lows here. So unless we react off this fair value gap on the 15 and the 5-minute, you know, then we'll probably go target those equal lows. And I think after sweeping those equal lows, we'll come right back up for the highs. We'll just see how we react. Got to see how we react off of this 5-minute breaker because we're still respecting it overall. But that 1-minute did break structure. We did get a break of structure on the 1-minute here. We are now into silver bullet hour. These shorts look like they really want to step in now. Looks like they might want to go down and take that London low, take those equal lows like I was talking about earlier. That was my original plan, right? Was to see us take the shorts down to those equal lows and then look for longs back up to the top. I got you, Enrique. Alright, let's see what kind of reward we would have from that fair value gap down to those equal lows. That's over 300 ticks. So we could still see some nice reward on that position. Let's see, this is where it gets hard because we're still technically respecting our breaker and our fair value gap, and that's a pretty strong reaction there. So if we start to inverse this 1 minute fair value gap, right, that's when I would be looking for longs again. And this would be that power of 3 move. Right, if we see that rejection we're getting off the 5 minute, look at that wick all the way down in the 5 and the 15. Right, so now it looks like we're trying to inverse that 1 minute, and if we do that, this would show me it's a power of 3, and that we're going to head right back up for that London high. Alright, we'll see you tomorrow, man. See you tomorrow. So we'll just have to see. We'll have to see if we want to inverse this level or not. Still respecting it. But after seeing that wick back up, that's a pretty strong move back up off that fair value gap, off that unicorn. But we're still respecting that bearish fair value gap. So I would need to see us inverse that. As long as we're respecting this level, we will head down for those equal lows. As long as we're respecting that fair value gap. And we see that pretty strong rejection off that level there. Pretty strong rejection off that level. Again, I'll just keep being patient. I'm not in any rush to force a trade or anything, guys, but you know, I just want to see these levels get taken. So just don't force trades here. Just wait for the setup. Wait for a good setup with good risk management, and then look to execute your trade. Okay, so we just displaced that breaker on the 5 minute. We just displaced that 5 minute breaker. Looks like we want to head down from here and grab those equal lows. So I'm going to start looking for shorts. I want to test these shorts out. I just don't want to get too low of an entry here. Don't want to get too low of an entry. That's, you know, I do see these shorts coming in. I do see them stepping in here and grabbing those equal lows after displacing that 5 minute bullish unicorn. But what I don't want to do is get an entry all the way down here just for us to come right back up and stop us out before we actually drop. Preferably that entry off that fair value gap up top would have been nice. We're still seeing us kind of chop here though. But I want to see us come down for those equal lows. You know, I wouldn't be looking for the shorts as much if we didn't displace that breaker, that unicorn. But after seeing us displace that level, I do want to see us come down and grab those equal lows. Let's see if we can come reject this level again. So a nice 2 minute fair value gap there as well. Just this 15 minute that I don't love. Just don't love what I'm seeing on the 15 minute. Let's see if we can reject this level again. I still don't love getting an entry right here. We're just too choppy right now. Just need to see us start dropping again. Too volatile. Too volatile right now. We do keep rejecting that 1 minute though. Let's look at that 15 minutes. Yeah, I mean, I definitely think we're coming down for those equal lows. It's just about the timing on this trade, guys, because we are so choppy and volatile. We have to time this perfectly. I'm going to test out the shorts. Again, it might be one of those ones where I have to cut pretty early. I might have to cut this one already. Let's see. We're just so volatile here. If we turn green, I'm going to have to cut this one. Yeah, guys, this is just so volatile. So volatile. You know, I want to see these shorts start to step in from here. That's why, you know, just another half a lot trade there. So I might just have to sit on the sideline for a little bit longer after seeing this volatility. Again, if you're in the profit already, you know, just play it safe. Play it conservative. You don't need to take anything aggressive, which I think a lot of you might be in the profit, or at least around close to profit after that first trade. Man, so we are rejecting that 15-minute. I still want to see us go grab those equal lows. Still want to see us come down for those equal lows there. And that's just what I meant, guys. The timing on this and the volatility is pretty difficult, right? I would have been looking long still if we didn't come down and displace that 5-minute bullish unicorn. Since we displaced that 5-minute bullish unicorn, that's when I started looking for shorts back to those equal lows. Yeah, exactly. And that's why, you know, I haven't really been able to place a stop loss in time. I've just had to cut my loss very quick because of that volatility. So we might have to kind of sit on the sideline for a little bit and, you know, maybe wait for price action to clean up, get a little bit slower. I just really do see these equal lows getting swept here. But yeah, it's very difficult to get that entry. That's what I talked about. It's just the timing, guys. It's just the timing. Right? Even though I expect these shorts to step in here, we are a little bit choppy. We are a little bit volatile. You can see when I try to get my entry, we wanted to retrace more, back up to VWAP before getting this drop again. So it's just a little bit too choppy and volatile for me. But I do expect these shorts to come down here. You know, it'd be different if this fair value gap was like, you know, 40 ticks, and I could keep a stop above and I'd be okay with it. I would probably already have, you know, maybe tested a re-entry, but since it's so many ticks per 1 minute candle, you're not, you know, I'm not really trying to do that. But I do think we're coming down pretty soon. Looks like we want to come down pretty soon. Would you use one of those breakers in the consolidated area? Yeah, I mean, you can see we've bounced off this technically 1 minute breaker. It's more of like a head and shoulders almost. Yeah, I would consider it up here. I don't love that level. I don't love it, but we have been, you know, rejecting off of it so far. I just don't like this chop. I don't like this chop we're in right now. Need to see some better price action here. But again, I still expect these shorts to come down to that level and sweep those lows. But this is just a very difficult time to find the right entry. Yes, Yed, we have taken 3 trades actually. First one was a loss. Second one, for me, was break even. For a lot of people, was a pretty good win. Hit about 180 ticks. And then this just attempted one short here, got stopped, or I had to cut my loss early. Just a very volatile day. Is anybody trying to take these shorts, or is everybody kind of just sitting on the sideline here? Yeah, exactly, Mike. This is like very, very difficult. You know, we know pretty much what, you know, what's going to happen. At least I have a very strong conviction that we're going to come down and grab those equal lows. But the timing here it's very, very difficult. Hey, $11 is $11. Hey, dude, that could get you like 2 packs of gum these days. So yeah, once we do sweep these equal lows, that's when I would expect us to reverse right back up to the longs. ES is going down for that London low. And so is NQ. This is what I expected to happen here. I want to see us go grab that equal low, that London low. But, you know, we're just struggling to get there. We're just so volatile. You know, you can't really get those entries. It's almost impossible to get the perfect entry in this area right here. Right, just because we've been chopping so much. And just because these 1 minute candles are, you know, a lot of ticks. Let's see if we do want to come down for those lows. In short, 1/4 lot. Yeah, I mean, it's smart. You know, you don't want to. This is not really the price action you want to be playing super heavy. You know, unless you have a good setup. Like I went heavy on this trade here. That's the only trade I've gone in a full lot, just because I had a lot of conviction there. A lot of conviction. Yeah, that's huge, Tony. Right when you start to feel that emotion, you start to feel the emotions taking over, taking control. You just gotta take a step back. We created a 5-minute bearish order block up here. Very large bearish order block. Right there. This 15-minute really wants to come down. It's been slowly making its way down to those equal lows. Slowly and slowly making its way down. It'll get there. It'll get there at some point. And so our analysis so far today has been, you know, right on point. Right on point with every trade we've attempted. You know, our analysis is there. We've had one very solid entry. Our other two have not been very solid. Got caught up in the volatility. But the ideas were still there. Look at that. We've almost taken the low. Just created. We still haven't taken it. So there's that low taken. That's where my full TP would have been right there. That's where my full TP would have been. Right, so our analysis has been right on point. This is originally what I wanted to see us do this morning, was come down and sweep that low and then start to pump. So now I want to see us reverse. I'd want to see us reverse from here. And if we don't and we want to come down and displace, you know, then I would look for the shorts to continue, and I would start looking for shorts to come down to those next sell side levels. And now we're creating another bearish breaker, right? So it's just back and forth today. Just back and forth. We went from bearish breaker to bullish breaker to bearish breaker. Displace just means for our body of the candle to close below a previous low. So if this 5-minute candle, if the body closes below, that would be displacement on a 5-minute time frame, which just shows that we're expecting a continuation of that move. So ES took that London low as well. We look pretty bearish here. Doesn't look like we're trying to reverse anytime soon. Looks like we want to just keep going for that sell side. All right, so we've got about a minute and 20 seconds left on the 5-minute candle. Let's see, we're still in silver bullet hour. Still looking at these fair value gaps for entries. But after already taking that London low, you know, it makes me a little bit more cautious to jump into a fair value gap entry all the way down here. If I see a super hard rejection, yeah, I'd look for a short entry. But after sweeping London low, I expect a reversal to happen. Just depends if we get this displacement here on the 5 and 15-minute time frame. Right, now we're inversing. This is why I wait. This is why I don't love shorting from here. Let's just see what this 5-minute does. We close in about 20 seconds. We might fail to displace here. We might see these longs start to step in. Look at that. All right, I want to see us. I don't want to see us displace. I want to see us reverse. But we just got to react to what the market shows us. Okay, so we did barely close below, just barely. I wouldn't say that's very strong displacement though on the 5-minute. And we inverse this 1-minute fair value gap. So now I want to start seeing the reversal step in. I want to see us come right back for the highs. Yeah, exactly. Target that 5-minute OB right there. So now wait for a bullish level to show. Maybe we create a bullish fair value gap. Yeah, especially I don't want to see the 15-minute displace here. Thank you, Kia Trades. Displacement and retracement. Okay, 1-minute fair value gap created. Let's see if we can get a reaction off this fair value gap. Doesn't look like we want to yet. We technically have not had any break of structure back to the upside or anything like that, so this would be still an aggressive move. This would still be an aggressive entry even if I wanted to long. That's a pretty nice reaction so far. I want to test out these longs real quick, guys. Just remember, we're still very volatile, so it's still pretty aggressive here. Still pretty aggressive. I'll keep a 55 tick stop down here. 19,490.25. So I can't even keep my stop below this wick, which on a 1-minute time frame, which is what I don't like. $490.25 here. Or I'll keep it at 490 right now. Alright, so I'd want to see us just start to really expand off this level of silver bullet, head back up to that order block up top. This is a very aggressive entry here, guys, for me. Just letting you know. And if I take this loss, then I'll probably just walk away. I'll probably just walk away. But I like that we inverse that 1 minute. We traded back into it. I want to see us fail to displace. I want to see us come back up to that 5-minute OB. You know, but we're still so volatile, and this is what I mean. It's aggressive. I don't have a good stop loss here, so, you know, I was willing to test it out. This will probably be my last trade, honestly. Yeah, I don't even want to test this market out anymore after this, guys. After this, I don't know if I want to test this market out anymore. Just the volatility here. Too volatile. You know, I mean, it makes sense. We got a lot of news. Got a lot of news coming out. We have NFP tomorrow. Right, but still willing to try that trade out. Just to see if we're going to get those longest step back in. Obviously didn't wait for the break of structure, so it's still very aggressive. Right, but yeah, I mean, there it is. You know, we tried out some trades. We had one very good trade, other ones not so much. You know, but what I'm not going to do is sit on here and just overtrade, keep forcing trades. So, you know, after taking a few losses, just have to sit back and say, all right, well, it's not my day here. Market's too volatile. I'm just going to stay out of the market. I'm just going to take a step back, let the market do its thing. You know, come back in a little while, kind of see if price action clears up a little bit, if it gets a little bit slower, less volatile. Looks like these shorts want to keep stepping in here, guys. Looks like these shorts do want to keep stepping in. That's the thing about this market as well is, you know, we inverse a fair value gap. We don't even trade into another one, and then we drop, right? You know, I mean, technically we do have a 5-minute bearish breaker, but we didn't even trade into the bearish breaker there. Right, so just a tough market today, you know. We had the right ideas on all these trades up here. All the right ideas, perfect analysis, right? But just dialing in that entry is the hardest part. You know, because I really wanted to short again from this level, but, you know, after we got stopped out that first time and seeing that volatility, we come up and we displace our level, and then we end up dropping, right? So that's kind of what we do on a day like today. We displace our levels, and then we just end up reversing. All right, so if you're still trying to trade and you're still looking at these shorts, I mean, now we got that strong 15-minute displacement there. Look at that displacement on the 15. Very strong displacement. Looks like we're going to now start coming back for those next sell side levels. You know, and that's just now when you just start looking to short. Again, I don't want to take any more trades in this market right now, but you're just looking for a price to come down to those next sell side levels. And if we look at a higher time frame, like on the hourly, you know, we got the swing low in the hourly down here, external level, 15-minute swing low here, external level or internal level. But for me, just seeing the way we're moving right now, I don't really want to try and even attempt another trade at this moment. You know, maybe if we slow down a little bit and have something more clear in a little bit more time, I'll look for something. But nah, just seeing what I'm seeing right now doesn't make me want to take another trade. So I think I'll stay out. I think I'll probably come back. I'll come back to the charts in a little bit and I'll check out and see, you know, check out the charts, see what we're doing, see how we're moving. You know, if we're moving good and we have an A+ setup, I'll still look to take something. You know, but if we're not, I'll probably just stay out of the market completely for the rest of the day on this account. Just, you know, look to trade our prop firm accounts later. But we do have education still coming up, so we'll have our educational session. And I will let you know if I'm still looking for any other trades, but right now I definitely recommend trying to stay out of this market. The volatility is very difficult. Could really get you. You really have to have that perfect entry. So, yeah, hopefully you guys were able to catch that first trade and take some TP or catch that long. Besides that, yeah, that's all I got for you guys right now. I'm going to take a step back, you know, just kind of take my eyes off the charts for a little bit, and then I'll come back and see what we got. All right, so I'll talk to you guys all soon. Until then, stay safe. God bless. Peace.